why I am going to go see Rise of Skywalker. Let's get into it. Okay, this is going to be a shorter one. I'm just kind of going off the cuff here, but so the new Star Wars movie Rise of Skywalker has just come out, and the reviews are absolutely abysmal. Knowing all of that, I'm still gonna go watch it just once. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, why are you gonna go give them your money? They're completely ruining the series, blah, 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 whatever. Honestly, just for closure, basically. Just to finish it off, get through the entire thing, say, hey, I stuck it out to the end, saw where it went, and hey, if I'm not expecting it to be good, I'm gonna sit down and it might be cringingly bad, but I have the patience to sit there for 2 hours or whatever and just let it play out, and honestly, if anything else, just let it be kind of a eulogy for the entire franchise. Now, I hear The Mandalorian is pretty good, but I have to say I am definitely in the boat where the latest Star Wars movies have just not held up, I don't think. I mean, even the prequels. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, why are these ones so bad? Number of reasons. Just, terrible world building, terrible characterizations, whatnot. I mean, even the prequel series, sure, they weren't great movies by any means, but they definitely felt Star Wars. These movies just seems like they didn't even know what they had. They just had a bunch of Star Wars ingredients, and they're like, okay, let's just make some garbage movie and just throw all of these ingredients in. It almost feels like making a Star Wars movie was kind of the second thought that they had. They just, already had like some sci-fi movie written up, and so like, okay, let's just add Star Wars stuff in here, and here we go. And it's like, what are you doing? And there was definitely the feeling that they are trying to more or less replace the old movies. I think Bob Iger actually came out and said that, okay, the next Star Wars movies we make after this, they're going to be unbound by previous nostalgia or whatever. And I'm just like, what did you buy the series for? You were basically buying a cash cow. I mean, they didn't have to be great movies, because like I said, the old Star Wars movies, the prequel movies weren't great, but they at least got the job done. They were at least Star Wars movies. You could still at least feel the world and the same kind of creative spark behind that. Now, these movies, you didn't have to like knock it out of the park. You just had to make it just moderate, watchable movie. It doesn't have to set the world on fire. I mean, okay, for example, take the Matrix movies. Sure, the first Matrix movie was really great. The second one was meh, but the third one was also meh, but you still get the feeling of, finishing it off, of, closing in the entire thing. Not to mention the fourth Matrix movie coming out soon, but whatever. It's just, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Well, anyway, with this final movie in the numbered sequence of movies and whatnot, it's just be a nice time to take all this Star Wars, hype or anti-hype, as you may think they've been doing lately, and just kind of finally put it all to bed. Let Star Wars rest for a bit. I mean, if they make some new Star Wars stuff, and it could be good, could be bad, but this is the perfect jumping off point for the Star Wars bandwagon. I was never really on the bandwagon too hard. I mean, I did like it. I wasn't maybe a super fan or anything like that, but I did like it. It was fun and whatnot. I think Return of the Jedi is the one that I saw most out of all of them, but hey, whatever. So yeah, it was fun. It was adventurous, and they just don't have the same kind of feel to it, the same kind of adventure and whatnot. But yeah, if you like something, just wait long enough, and someone will come around and ruin it. I knew that when Disney bought Star Wars, they'd find some way to screw it up. I mean, they didn't even have to make great movies. It just had to make, you know, at least mediocre or average movies that are just watchable, and just make them for the fans, if for the existing fans, if nothing else. They just don't make, you know, terrible movies. And how did they mess this up? Who knows? But yeah, this is the end of well, probably not the end. I know a lot of people are still holding on, but I think for a lot of people this is the end of the story, and just have to see it through to the end. And hey, if nothing else, this opens it up for other franchises and whatnot to take our attention. I mean, we still technically kind of have the original 3 movies. I mean, sure, they've been chopped up, and it's hard to find like a completely as it was aired version of the original movies, but yeah, whatever. And those are still gonna mean something to someone somewhere. But yeah, as long as you have that and you can remember that. I think remembering a quote from one of my favorite movies, Steam Boy, where
we weren't strong enough, our hearts weren't pure enough to hold on to that vision and keep it from becoming a monster.
Anyway, so yeah, just sure, kind of sucks, you know, giving more money to Disney to just see it die, but see it as kind of a funeral, you know. I mean, it'd be, from that kind of perspective, it's sure, I'll pay my $10 and go see it. Not that big of a deal. Maybe I'll dress in like all black and make it all a formal thing, put on a black tie or anything. really go the whole 9 yards. It'll be fun. So, may we remember Star Wars for what it was. The sense of adventure, wonder, and inspiration it gave us all, and remember the memory of Carrie Fisher and all that. And honestly, I mentioned that letting Star Wars die here would open up opportunities for other things to take its place, and to tell you the truth, I really feel like other things already kind of have. I already have not enough time to spend on, you know, the things I want to do, so it's almost like it is time to just let Star Wars die. I mean, there's plenty of new video games, plenty of books I want to read, plenty of other things I want to do, plenty of animes I want to watch and whatnot, that I can get some of that, rekindle some of that same feeling of wonder and adventure and new experiences and such. So Star Wars will be missed, specifically the old original Star Wars and what its role was in our culture at that time and whatnot. But yeah, that time is over. It's time to move on and try to remember it fondly, what there is to remember fondly, and move forward. It's the only direction we can move. I know I'm being a bit melodramatic here, but I'm having fun doing it, so lay off. Anyway, I just think there's a sublime beauty in acceptance, and I mean like the stages of grief style acceptance here. I mean, sure, a lot of people are still kind of angry or maybe in the bargaining phase, if you choose to say that, but once you just kind of accept, okay, this is what it is now, and sure, you had the good times and whatnot, and now we can move forward. I guess that is the goal here. Move forward and finally being able to put this behind us, kind of uncluttering, releasing yourself from the emotional labor of having to give a damn about Star Wars. Whatever kind of emotional toll that takes. But it's just I mean, just imagine becoming immune to clickbaity videos and articles about Star Wars. Releasing yourself from the fandom. That's a weird way to put it, but that is kind of what it feels like. There is something to be said about series or whatever that have a definitive end. I always think that's kind of, okay, this is everything they had to say about it, and here it is. Like Cowboy Bebop, that definitively has an end. They ended it in such a way that they really can't make make like a sequel series, or at least not with the same characters and everything. And I think there's kind of that kind of finality to it. It shows courage almost, and clarity of vision. It's kind of a nice thing to see, and I'm sure that's not what they're going for on purpose with this movie, but there's just something about, okay, we've seen it, we've absorbed it, and we can move on. It's not trying to sink its hooks into us, just kind of drag us along, lead us along by, not trying to lead us along, indefinitely. It's like, just let go. We are free now. I think there's something nice in that. Yeah, it's worth $10 to get that kind of closure, I guess is a good way to put it. Closure, yeah. So, for me, I've been kind of a media hoarder. I've got far too many DVDs, far too many books, far too many series and whatnot on my watch list, things like that. So, being able to finally release something to remove it from the overhead on my shoulders is actually kind of therapeutic, and Star Wars just kind of volunteered for that. So thank you, Star Wars. So I'm not sure. I think other people might be in the same position. It's kind of a decluttering of your media landscape. It's kind of nice, actually. So I think it's not just me. I think a lot of people these days are kind of realizing that they were maybe stuck in a position of hoarding and are now trying to switch to a position of minimalism and focus instead of just trying to gobbling up everything on their plate. And I think that's kind of nice. I think it's a maturing process. I really don't know what else I have to say about this. I mean, other than maybe they should start serving popcorn at real funerals. Just an idea. Anyway, till next time, later.